Look at this.
Here's a cup of tea in a teddy bear cup. You can eat all the cake if you like.
And an entire cake.
But you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Absolutely right. What a wonderful hostess you are, to think that you are...
Not really.
Such good manners. Is this a typical of Wainuiomatans? Are you all that...
Well, I know that Debbie next door, I mean, her and I, we're always having cups of tea and chats together all the time.
What sort of things do you talk about? Well, that's what I want to know. What do you talk about?
Well, do you really want to know?
No, give us some ideas. Give us some ideas.
Well, we talk about our love life. We talk about clothes, because we both have an obsession with clothes. Like, this was Debbie's top, and just recently I swapped something for it. I swapped something for her feet.
Is that right? Speaking of feet, I must say, I'm very, very impressed by these slippers. You don't see a lot of these sorts of things in another part.
I love these. These are actually children's slippers.
Really?
But I fell in love with them. I just had to get them. You know, I was losing sleep not having them, so I had to go and get them. Like, I got this old piano recently from a mart up the road, and I've been teaching myself to play, but I'm not very good. Actually, Henry can only tolerate it for about 2 minutes. And then he says to me, he goes, "How about a Milo, chap?" Because that's his pet name. He calls me chap, you see.
Well, he's very kind about it, though, isn't he? I like that, really, the man. He's very considerate in the way he expresses these things.
We have our ups and downs, but we do love each other. We met through Radio Matchmaker, actually, nearly 5 years ago, Henry and I. I came down to Wellington to meet him on the train, and we'd only spoken on the phone and written letters, and then when I first met him, it was like love at first sight. Yeah.
Isn't that marvellous? So what, you've both phoned into a radio station and...
No, he actually phoned in.
Right.
But I heard his voice, and I quite liked the sound of his voice, you know. And then when he sent me a photo, I thought, I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw this bikie on a motorbike, because he used to be a bikie. He still calls himself a bikie, and that he hasn't got his motorbike going yet, but when he gets it going, I'm afraid he might go off and leave me all the time.
Well, what you'll have to do is just become such a good piano player that he can't bear to be without your music.
Oh, I doubt that will ever happen, Gary.
Well, tonight on Heartland, you're not going to see the usual glorious picture fest of bush-clad hills, mountains and raging seas. I'm travelling over the Wainui Road into Wainuiomata. Now, Wellington was my stamping ground, and in the old days, Wainuiomata had a bit of a reputation. It was thought of as a poor area, referred to as Nappy Valley, with a high crime rate, and quite frankly, not the sort of place you'd take your family for a picnic. Well, that was then, and now is now. Tonight on Heartland, we're going to dispel an urban myth and lay bare the soul of Wainuiomata.
Alana's going to go first. You're going to run up and tackle that bag. And when you've tackled it, you run right round behind everybody over to that line over there, okay? Are we ready? Matthew, as soon as I say go, as soon as she's tackled that bag, you're going to go, okay? And you've got to follow the same thing. See if we can get it right. This is going to be ultimate. You better turn. The ones that when you're going to tune it down.
Yeah!
Oani.
Oh, wait a
Jason.
Yeah!
This is a very Wainuiomata scene, this, isn't it?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
you're
much
obviously keen as mustard, aren't you? Hey?
10 years down the track, they'll be playing under 17s and kicking butts.
How many young teams have you got?
This is the baby team.
Yeah.
These ones range from 3.5 years of age to... Alana, how old are you? She's just our new member. 6
right.
years old.
Great, so how many days a week are you down here?
I spend 5 days a week down here.
Oh! Hey, I think that was planned. They nearly got me there.
Everybody get the man
So what's happening over here at the club this weekend?
Big freehold party, Gary, whole weekend.
Now, freehold party. What on earth is a freehold party?
5 years ago, we built the club rooms. It got finished being built 5 years ago. We paid the last payment this weekend, and we decided, let's give something back to the punters that have helped to build the place and put all the money into it. We're giving them a free weekend, reduced the price of the alcohol for them, free hangi, day of celebrations to celebrate, one, the game of rugby league, but mainly because of the freeholding of the premises.
What sort of community is Wainui?
It's like a little rural community, but it's close to the city. Geographically, we're a community all of ourselves. I think we're probably one of the only communities in New Zealand that can actually say you can define our boundaries because our fences are these hills. You come into the valley over the one hill road, you know where you are. As soon as you hit the top of that hill, you know you're in Wainui. Take it over in the Hutt Valley. Someone says they come from the Hutt. What part of the Hutt? Avalon. Is that Avalon or Taita? Is it Nainai? What side of the street are you on? Over here, it's clear cut.
Here we are then. Chalky Dip, Mr. Whippy, two great New Zealand icons. All's well in Wainuiomata.
That's Cherokee, one of the famous New Zealand fish. It's very, very nice. It's beautiful fry. You can do anything you like with Cherokee. It's really nice fried, especially with breadcrumbs. Very, very popular. I have to get up 6 o'clock in the morning to get that fish from the market. It's all done with eggs and milk and bits and pieces, my secret recipe, and breadcrumbs and deep fried. I've been on the shop here for a long, long time, 22 years, just gone past. And I just love working on the fish shop. That's my life. I come from Greece, I come from an island called Samos, and I still love New Zealand. It's a great place to be.
Well, it's Friday night in Wainuiomata. People are partying it up around town, I imagine. I hear there's a party on here. I thought I might look in. Bought a bit of hospitality. What sort of party is this then?
Tupperware.
A Tupperware party? Yeah. I've never been to a Tupperware party.
Oh, thank you. It's a real pie wedge.
A wee parfait dish.
Oh, lovely. A parfait dish. Well done. Excellent. What I've always wanted.
What is a parfait dish?
It's something that's all fluffy and instant puddingy, isn't it? With little bits of fruit.
But you obviously haven't had one yet, but you'll know it when you see it.
Yeah. I'll remember to order it next time I go to Cobb & Co.
What have you got there then?
A little thing that you dip your flour in, and you can put it in your, yeah.
Does it have a handle on it, or are you supposed to?
No, it's just,
you hold it like that.
Say you have one of these with flour, and you just scoop it out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's very handy, isn't it?
Yeah. Or a sugar scooper. Or a sugar scooper.
Right.
Okay. Now look, the serving centre comes like that. So because if you're going to pop your food in there and prepare it a little earlier on, all you need to do is put your big lid on top, and it'll keep the flies away, and it'll keep it nice and clean and tidy until you're ready to eat it. Now, if you're going to serve, this is a six-sided centre, and if you're going to serve your dips or whatever it is you want to put in there, several different dips, then this becomes a rather nice big chippy plate.
Is it for the plastic goods that you come along, or is it a social thing as well?
It's more social, and the wine, and
Right.
Yeah, get together, really?
Is that just another excuse for a debauched night out? Is that what we're saying?
That's what you tell
Wainui
your
style.
husbands and that. So.
Oh, they're not allowed to
Fathers.
come.
What? No. Well,
noticed-
they sort of don't like plastic Tupperware.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's strange.
They don't
that.
cook though, so that's the reason. Do you
That's on
cook?
there and
Well, I do, but I've only got about 2 dishes, and none of them call for a lot of plasticware.
Well, you're going to be buying hoops tonight then, aren't you?
On a winter's morning, and the daily migration from Wainuiomata to the Hutt Valley, where people are going to work, has begun. They go up over the hill in the morning. There's a period of stasis, and then in the evening to come back over the hill to Wainuiomata again. The Wainuiomata Development Company, set up in 1931, decided to drill a tunnel through those hills, and they did. But they didn't get it completed because the company went bust. And because of that quirk of corporate faith, the people of Wainuiomata are now destined to travel over the hill into the Valley of Mist.
What do you want in your lunch now?
You choose.
Okay, peanut butter?
Baked beans.
Oh, I'm not making baked beans. You can have peanut butter or cheese or jam.
Cheese.
Please.
Please.
How many pieces of bread do you want? 1 or 2?
2.
Okay.
So what are we having in the school lunch today?
Right. Well, we just have just plain old, just cheese sandwiches, and my husband works at Griffin, so we get lots of biscuits.
That's a bit lucky, isn't it, Chanel? Lots of biscuits? And is that all right with the cheese? You don't mind the cheese? It's okay, is it?
It's a bit boring sometimes, eh, Chanel? Yeah, so we've got muesli bars and raspberry bun.
Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? Well, Chanel, I'll bring it over to you here just to make sure it passes your inspection, because no doubt you'd want to have a look at this. That's pretty good. Are we happy with this? What are you going to do at school today?
We do the same what we do yesterday. Yesterday we're going to do it again. We do it each day. Sometimes we read. Every day we read books. I know some of them I've been taking home and I know them.
That's good. And what about friends? Have you got lots of friends in the street?
Yep, we got Kathleen next door. Kathleen, yes. We got Kiwi that side.
We've become very good friends with the neighbours next door. Her name is Chloe, and they're a very, very nice family. And the children
See the lights
get
on over there?
Yes, the children get on really good, and her boyfriend and my husband get on really good. So we all get on really, really well.
Well,
it reminds me of like a New Zealand sort of New Zealand version of Coronation Street. Really, it's just so friendly, eh?
Oh, look, we have another visitor.
Hi,
Gary
Tara.
McCormick here. That's a nice idea with the gloves. You need that around here. Are you looking for a school lunch too, or to do the
just
dishes?
Chanel. Just Chanel.
Do you take Chanel to school? Is this part of the neighbourhood network?
Yes, this is the mother of the little boy that I look after.
Why I go to school.
Yeah.
Oh, you go to school?
Yeah, Poco College, 6th form.
Are you doing a 6th form course? Well done, well done. What are you studying?
Woodwork Technology, 6th form.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking how old you are? Just
22.
22. You've returned to school, as it were.
Yes.
How long have you been doing that for?
Since the beginning of the year.
Right. And you hope to become a chippy eventually or something, do you?
Something.
Good for you.
If they have me.
Teeth, Chanel, teeth, and we don't
Chanel, can you go and brush your teeth first, please?
Oh, dear, why do I have to?
I know, just because I'm here. That's the problem. Okay, sorry, that's the way it is.
Excuse me, can I
Yeah,
just
sure.
slip
No,
through
go
here,
right ahead.
please?
I'll just finish mopping down the bench
Excuse me?
over here.
Oh, you're doing a good job there, too.
Little surplus biscuit there.
Okay, Chanel. Have a good day, darling. Mummy loves you. Have a good day, eh, sweetie?
Bye, Chanel.
Aren't you going to wave goodbye? See ya. Have a nice day. See you, Tara.
Yeah.
See ya.
Wainuiomata was settled in the mid-1800s, a bush-clad valley producing cereals and dairy products. But this agrarian lifestyle was to change with the forming of the Wainuiomata Development Company in 1928. The company saw potential in an orderly experiment in town planning, providing cheap housing for those people who worked in the Hutt Valley in Wellington. The post-war benevolence of the 50s saw a change in regulations, allowing young families to capitalise their family benefit, and with a cheap State House loan, buy a section and build a house. They were boom times, especially if you were a builder. Now you, in point of fact, built a lot, or indeed most of the houses in this street, am I right?
Yes, there'll be 20 in the street, Gary. Built 20 down here. We just worked off survey pegs and no footpaths, no roads.
Right.
The plonker house in the middle of a section. And you had to dig for your water, of course. There's no water or power in those days. This would be the cheapest place in the Wellington district to come for a home. And everyone that came to Wainui they were generally struggling, people that had no finance. They're really up against it. They come in, Gary.
Home sweet home, eh?
Yeah, this is where I carried the wife across the threshold, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You did that as well?
Yeah.
And you built the house yourself?
That's right, yeah.
So did you have this house ready when you first got married? Or?
Yeah, I made a vow. I made a vow that I'd never get married to have my own home.
So you were able to carry it across the threshold into your own house on the day?
Carry it across the threshold, yeah.
Lovely idea.
That was in 1951.
Yeah. Now this will be all pretty solid building materials, will it?
All guaranteed native Heartland timber.
That's marvellous. You don't get that sort of thing nowadays, do you?
No, it's prohibited now to use it now. It's illegal to use Heartland or illegal to cut it.
Oh, this is a nice welcoming home, this is?
This is a lounge, yeah, just in those days this was a standard lounge and you always had a separate dining room, see?
And how hard was it to get these building materials then? I mean, for a start, even getting it over here.
Yeah, well, you did right. Going back years ago, Gary, the people in the Hutt boycotted us. We just about had to beg for trucks to come over. It was a small form of blackmail.
Is that right?
They wouldn't come over just to feed a couple of houses, you know.
I see.
There's only room for 2 cars to pass.
Is that right?
2 cars, you might have 3 feet between them in the gap, yeah. Or shingle road it was, yeah. You're really isolated, and the loneliness, the quietness and the loneliness is uncanny, you know. You wouldn't see any more than 5 vehicles come on the desert road, what we call the desert road. You wouldn't see any more than 5 a week.
What was the best part of the day, Buckley? I brought your green spotty coat with me today. Whee! Here we go, Kathleen, down the hill. Holding on tight.
Look
Here's
at this.
a cup of tea and a teddy bear cup. You can eat all the cake if you like.
And an entire cake.
But you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Absolutely right. What a wonderful hostess you are to think that you
Not really.
such good manners. Is this a typical of Wainuiomatans? Are you all that?
Well, I know that Debbie next door, I mean, her and I, we're always having cups of tea and chats together all the time.
What sort of things do you talk about? Well, that's what I want to know. What do you talk about?
Well, do you really want to know?
No, give us some ideas. Give us some ideas.
Well, we talk about our love life. We talk about clothes, because we both have an obsession with clothes. Like, this was Debbie's top, and just recently I swapped something for it. I swapped something for her feet.
Is that right? Speaking of feet, I must say, I'm very, very impressed by these slippers. You don't see a lot of these sorts of things in another part.
I love these. These are actually children's slippers.
Really?
But I fell in love with them. I just had to get them. You know, I was losing sleep not having them, so I had to go and get them. Like, I got this old piano recently from a mart up the road, and I've been teaching myself to play, but I'm not very good. Actually, Henry can only tolerate it for about 2 minutes. And then he says to me, he goes, how about a Milo, chap? Because that's his pet name. He calls me chap, you see.
Well, he's very kind about it, though, isn't he? I like that, really, the man. It's very considerate in the way he expresses these things.
We have our ups and downs, but we do love each other. We met through radio matchmaking, actually, nearly 5 years ago, Henry and I. Came down to Wellington to meet him on the train, and we'd only spoken on the phone and written letters, and then when I first met him, it was like love at first sight. Yeah.
Isn't that marvellous? So what, you've both phoned into a radio station and...
No, he actually phoned in.
Right.
But I heard his voice, and I quite liked the sound of his voice, you know. And then when he sent me a photo, I thought, I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw this bikie on a motorbike, because he used to be a bikie. He still calls himself a bikie, and that he hasn't got his motorbike going yet, but when he gets it going, I'm afraid he might go off and leave me all the time.
Well, what you'll have to do is just become such a good piano player that he can't bear to be without your music.
Oh, I doubt that will ever happen, Gary.
It has sometimes been said that the hills of Wainuiomata are alive with the sounds of music. In here at number 12 Aparoa Street, we have a very promising group of talented young musicians deep in rehearsal. What's this sort of music called?
Oh, it's just hardcore.
Hardcore?
Yeah.
Hardcore?
Hardcore, like death metal.
Oh, right.
Makes the people go crazy and that lets rid of their anger. Psycho.
Right, there's a lot of that
Without
in Wainui?
hurting anybody.
Without hurting anybody,
Yeah,
that sounds like a good idea. Ian, what's it like being brought up in Wainuiomata?
Well, it's pretty hard at the start because there's no money. That's the main thing. Like, there's no money nowhere, so nobody's got money and it makes it hard to eat.
Right. Was this a problem for you at school? I mean, did you go hungry at school?
I had to get a job when I was young because no money.
Right.
I just had to start early.
OK, we've got a poster over here. Now, hold on a minute. This afterbirth, is that what you call yourselves?
Yeah, afterbirth.
Where did you get that idea from?
It came out.
It came out? But did I hear that correctly?
Talk to each other. Just keep running. Tonight, we know there's big celebrations down at Club O, but it's pretty important that we bloody win tomorrow. So, in moderation, eh? Nobody going out getting tanked up, eh? We want to have a big effort tomorrow. You know, we're on a roll. We've done Upper Hutt. We've done Maris Northern. Now we don't want to let ourselves down, eh, by losing this one tomorrow.
What's league done for Wainuiomata?
A lot of people in New Zealand didn't know where Wainuiomata was until our team came along and started winning, especially against the Auckland sides, and it was on TV, you know, and live. And about 2,000 of us traipsed up to Carlaw Park to watch them play. And like I was saying to some of the guys the other day, you know, you wear a Wainui League jersey, you know, years ago nobody would have known where it come from. Now you wear it anywhere in New Zealand, I'll guarantee somebody will know that you're from Wainuiomata or it's a Wainuiomata jersey.
It's quite nice to see you wander down here and people waving at you and greeting you and things. I guess this is what...
And they're using all their fingers when they wave too, Jared.
I noticed that. Is it a good area to be working in your business?
It is. Nice people.
Yeah.
Nice people here. As you've probably realised, the size of Wainuiomata, it's a big place.
Right.
I mean, it's a few families, a couple of Mark IIIs and a Rottweiler short of being a town. And but it's got a country heart.
Right.
The people there, just below the surface, they're good, realistic people. This place is growing up. The kids are growing up now, and it's a nice, warm feeling. You know, there's we're not. I mean, we're walking through here. We haven't been mugged yet.
That's certainly true. But on the other hand, I am with you.
The kids go through that phase of offending minor crime, and hopefully they start to realise that it doesn't get them anywhere. Plus, a sense of belonging with this place. Right. I mean, we're all one family, and they're all networks and connections.
Hey, look, Chloe, I want to ask you a favour.
What's that, dear?
Guess what Renee's got?
What?
She's got the mum.
Oh no, poor Renee.
Yeah.
I knew she'd get it eventually.
Yeah, so actually I want to ask a favour of you.
What's that?
Well, I was wondering if it would be possible if is Henry going to go and pick Kathleen up from school today?
Possibly, if he's not doing anything else.
Well, I was wondering if Henry or one of you could stay home so I could drop Renee off at your house. Because I wouldn't mind going down to the school and seeing Renee's teacher and getting some homework for her.
That's perfectly all right.
Oh, because I rang up the school this morning and they told me she's not allowed to go to school for 9 days.
That's a long time, isn't it?
She sort of woke up this morning about 5 o'clock and came into our bedroom and goes, Mum, I've got a sore ear.
Oh,
so Grant turned on the light and, oh, Grant, Renee, you've got the mums, go to bed, you won't be going to school.
I'm always thinking of everything. Have you got any haircut done?
Yeah, I've had a haircut. It's quite a lot of it's gone strangely lately, but still, yeah.
The people who are making the magnets collect up all the hair and take it to their work, to the factory where they make them. Then they put it on piece of hair on it, and they transfer it with the special machine into magnets.
So they make magnets out of hair. How do you know this? What's made you think this?
I'll show you.
Okay. This is important scientific stuff we're getting here. The magnet. Look, what's this? This. Look at that. May I hold this up here? Look at this. I think this is science at its best. What you've done there is you've rubbed your hair with this pen, and as a result, somehow or other, the hair has become magnetised. Have I got that right? What happens if you rub it for ages and ages and ages? You might be able to pick up whole boxes off the floor.
Have a look at this.
All right.
See any lines?
You can see some faint lines in there.
Do you know what they are?
What are they?
Hairs.
That's the hair that's been compressed into that magnet. Well, if ever proof were needed. Quite obviously, you can learn a lot about a community by talking to its young people. And I'm at Wainuiomata College, and I'm about to go into the Lion's Den, talk to the young people here and find out what their aspirations and their hopes for the future are.
I reckon Wainui is a marvellous and wonderful place.
Hey, right.
I don't like it because I'm grounded.
Because you're grounded?
Yeah.
Hey, this sounds intriguing. Well, you must hear... Now, do you mind telling me quietly what it was you did that got you grounded over here?
I jumped out the window.
You jumped...
And went out.
Now, you're talking about at home you jumped out the window and went out?
Because I wasn't allowed. I had to stay home.
Really?
Yeah.
Where were you hoping to go, you know, that you were told you couldn't go?
Up to the Friday night dances at the club rooms.
Oh, you got... Which club rooms are these?
The league ones.
Oh, right, they have Friday night dance and you hoped to go along. And why weren't you allowed to go in the first place?
Oh, because I was already grounded.
Belinda, what are you going to do when you leave here?
Be rich.
Is that right? You've got that sorted out already, have you?
Yep, definitely.
Why do you want to be rich?
There's just a lot of things I want.
Right.
Yeah, you've got to have money to get them, so.
And you're going to stay in Wainuiomata, do you think?
It's nice, but it's a bit of a pain because you have to, like, anytime you want to do anything, you've got to go over the hills, so I'll probably leave.
Why do you think people stay here?
Because they can't escape from Wainuiomata.
Yeah?
The hills close us in, we're trapped.
We've got to do something about your life, really, haven't we? It's not too good, is it, really? What are you going to do when you leave school? Presumably you're allowed to leave school eventually when the grounding stops.
On the dole.
Now, why do you want to be on the dole?
Because...
Why? Why?
Because I don't think I can get out in the world and get a job.
Is that right?
Down on your knee. Hands. If you get. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Good girls. 2.
Here we are at 56 Dover Street, Wainuiomata, of course. It's early evening, chow time. A group of young people live here, and Rodney here is our #1 chef for the night. Rodney, what's going on for dinner tonight?
Oh, we've got cabbage and cauliflower, and in here we've got some delicious chops.
You carry right on, serve up.
Ajuda bem, então? Ajuda aí bem, It's a Christian home, not a religious home, and it's not everyone here is Christian by any means, and that's not a criteria. It's a place people can come and get a feed, you know, settle down, sort out a few things if they need to. And those that, like Emperor Lau, really run the place. And myself, who helps, we have a Christian background, a Christian base to what we do, which we're proud of. It's with a group called Te Hauora, which is part of an organisation called Youth for Christ.
Why are you staying here?
Something to call our home.
Right. You didn't feel you had a place that you could call home before, or didn't you get on where you were, or what was the...
Me and my brother have been shipped around to different houses through our life, yeah. And now that we've come to a place that they can support us and stuff. The interesting thing is a lot of these people are actually making do somehow. They're managing to survive, they're managing to struggle through it, they're managing to keep their dignity or whatever in it. But that's no credit to the system, that's a credit to the individuals. The tragedy is some individuals can't, because there's just too much stacked up against them.
People think, what is it about Wainui? And they just, see the local boys, playing league on TV, and so it's sort of like one of the big hypes for a lot of the young guys and that, I guess.
Good evening, ladies. Welcome to Loverwear Lingerie. First of all, I just introduce myself. My name's Yvette, and I'll be your Loverwear rep for this evening. Girls, I don't think we can forget our male entertainer tonight, can we? I don't think we can. No. Ladies, tonight his name is Jason, and Jason's gorgeous. Jason's neat. Jason has not got 1 ounce of fat on his body at all. Nicely toned, dedicated bodybuilder, and a really cute face as well, with a neat personality to go with it, which is very hard to come by these days. And ladies,
If I appear slightly self-conscious, it's because I'm the only man here.
this is our novelty candle. These actually come straight up and down, but mine, as you can see, is a little bit lopsided. What happened was, this is my excuse, whether you believe me or not, it's another story. But what happened was, last summer, on one of our very few hot days in Wellington, I had it sitting in the back of my car in the suitcase, and it melted. But don't you all agree with me? Doesn't it look a bit more realistic now? I think so. Now, girls, who does this remind you of?
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
How often do you hold these functions in your house? You're the hostess, after all.
Well, they just talk me into it, and I can't help it.
Well, it's quite an exciting sort of evening, isn't it? Everybody gets into the spirit of things.
It's just an excuse to get together and have a good time, really.
And what is this entertainment?
Oh, it's just a man who comes and fulfills our desires.
Really?
Yeah. Visually, only visually.
But girls, why we call it mischief is because it has the famous crotchless ondays to go with them. Air conditioning, girls!
Have you been to some of these lingerie parties before?
I go every 4 weeks.
Is that right? You're a regular.
I'm a regular.
Is this a Wainuiomata thing? Because it seems to be very popular over here.
Well, I mean, you've got to do what your friends do. I mean,
Right.
you've got to keep up with the Joneses. If Sonia's having a party, I'll have to have one too. It's the stripper, that's all we do. All the way from Pencarrow.
Well, that's what's going on in the house. There is another Wainuiomata institution, and that is called Life in the Shed. Let's see what's going on there. I think we're well off out of there. How you doing, Richard? Is this what traditionally happens on a Friday night when there's a lingerie party? You get booted out, the women have a good time, and they're telling me they're actually going out on the town after as well.
Normally the way, I'll left home to look after the kids like normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, weeknights, It's the new snag kind of guy, sense of new age guy, just staying at home looking after kids.
You know those slippers that you like, me and Gary?
I do, yes.
Well, you know what? This is where I bought them from.
I might be able to get a pair.
Some
Let's have a look.
Gary?
Yeah. Yes. Do you have some slippers like this that might fit me?
Certainly. What size are you?
I'm about a 10 or a 9 or somewhere around that vicinity.
Measured lately?
No.
No? Do you want me to measure your foot, or you just quite happy
Well,
to
let's wing it.
He's being a copycat because he saw mine and he wants some like mine.
Yes, that's right. I do.
Gorgeous, aren't they?
Very, 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 very me. Yes, that's going to be all right. I think it.
They bring out the animal in you, eh, Gary?
You better give me the other one. Bring out twice the animal in me. Well, this will be what will be known in rugby league circles as the backstage area, and in this room here I believe the lads are getting ready to the game, having a bit of a pep talk. In fact, you can hear some music in there now. They're probably doing some creative dancing.
Obviously, guys, we're going to have to play it a little bit different because of the conditions, all right? We're going to use the 10 and the 12 to cut it up. Kura and Frank, you're going to be taking the first runs, okay?
How is the vibe here today?
Oh, yeah, they feel pretty good today.
And what do you think of the opposition today? How are Randwick looking?
Oh, they're not a bad side. They've been improving all year. We had a bit of bother with them the first game, so yeah, they'll be competitive, especially in these conditions. Anything can happen, you know.
Right. And if you win this today, this will be how many wins in a row you'll have?
Oh, geez, we're still on top anyway, top equal.
Now, explain to me about this music business. This is a new. Are you going to start dancing in a minute, or what's the reason for this?
Sort of just to get down, you know, relax and get into the mood of the game sort of thing, you know.
And then you switch off the tape and you really get serious and charge out there. Is that the story?
Well, I hope so.
So we'd be advised to stand well to one side when the record goes off. Is that the story?
Oh, yeah. I just want to get bowled over.
There's nothing wrong with the enthusiasm out here. It's great. It's the most enthusiastic game you've played. We're not being very clever. We're giving away too many penalties, okay? Whenever we get a penalty within kicking range, we kick the bloody thing. We do not tap the ball. We kick it. All right?
Yes, I'm sick of you guys.
Twice.
Go for the bloody
Don't. We kick the goal. Just kick the bloody goal, all right?
Instead of being up 4-0, we're 0-all. It's because we're too enthusiastic. We just got to settle down now and then, weigh up our options properly, eh?
Oh, getting up off the deck.
It would be fair to say that with 20 minutes to go, things are getting a little tense here. I would say, in fact, that the Wainui players on the field at the moment are getting a little moody. There's been a bit of face slapping going on, things like that. But it's a rather hushed crowd here at the moment, and I'm picking that something is going to happen. Something major is going to happen on the field very, very shortly. Either somebody's going to score eventually, or else there's going to be an all-out brawl.
He's got it. Yes! Go, Beauty!
So what do you reckon is going to happen in the remaining minutes of the game here? It's a bit tense, 0-all still.
You stop distracting me.
I'm going
to watch him kick a goal.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes! Told you.
Well, it's just after 4 o'clock on a Wainuiomata afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Getting a bit confused. I'm suffering from hypothermia, as are many of the crowd. Two gentlemen over here have done the right thing, I think, by planting themselves in the tree line. How are you doing? Is it very comfortable there at all?
Yeah, it's pretty warm in here.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think I may be on the wrong side of the fence. Have you been here throughout the entire game?
Oh, yeah, in the first game.
Is this your viewing point for most games? Is this where you normally hang out? Is this particular tree? Is this particular tree the one you were always underneath, or?
Oh, always along this fence line anyway.
Just somewhere out here.
Sheltered,
yeah. And are you sort of mates from way back, the two of you, or do you just meet here on Sunday afternoons for the games?
Yeah. No, we're mates.
All right, so this is a regular drill for you. Now, tell me about your Sunday. You wake up in the morning, presumably after a good night the night before. Late bit of a sleep in?
Big sleep in.
Big sleep in, right. So what, rise about 12?
Yeah, about 12.
Bit of lunch. What do we have for lunch?
Nothing.
Nothing? Never had lunch today? Skip lunch? And you come down here to get your posse about what time?
Well, what time?
About 1 o'clock or something?
You got here about 1 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, right, and you stand here in the freezing cold until 5. And then what do you do after that for entertainment?
I'll go and watch the Aussies.
But at least you don't stand in a tree in your own living room to watch them here. No, that's good. Well, there we have it, a very good result for Wainuiomata, and a sensible person would now retreat indoors for some drinkies. That's where I'm going.
Go!
local ritual, is it here? What's all this about?
No, with our team, we shout the visiting team.
All right.
A big glass.
And they all drink it out of the one glasses?
We have a record, 7.5 minutes to be beaten.
Oh, 7.5, this is a race, 7.5 minutes. We're wolves! I'd like to ask you for a little bit of quiet for a little 5-10 minutes. You know, you all know why we're up here tonight. It's to celebrate the freeholding of the premises. For those of you who don't really know about the freeholding of the premises, 5 years ago this place was built and there was over $300,000 of money borrowed which had to be paid back. It was over a term of 5 years. The committees of this club that have worked for the last 5 years have stuck to their goals. You guys, the whole lot of you, everybody that's here today, the people that'll be here tomorrow, the kids that will be here in the future, this is ours. The last check, guys, $10,487.50. This is wealth. Having a lot of friends, family, companionship. Taken in dollar terms, I don't know how we relate Wainuiomata to a wealthy area of Wellington. I'd rather live in Wainuiomata than live in Karori or Kandala. I don't see the harmony that we have anywhere near it in communities up there. Is that wealth? I don't know. I mean, I think New Zealand has been built on people pitching together and making things happen, and Wainuiomata is one of those areas. It's a great place. I began this program by pointing out that we who grew up in Wellington grew up with a certain amount of disdain for this community Wainuiomata, which is a bit rich really, considering that I came from Purua-Tutahi Bay, which was a similar kind of place. But what we have found here is a group of warm and enormously friendly people who have built up a marvellous community. We should never underestimate Wainuiomata.